The Mid-Hants Railway is a heritage line in the English county of Hampshire, running for 16 kilometres from Alton to Alresford, with two intermediate stops at Medstead and Foremarks and Ropley. I visited the railway on the 26th of April 2025, in the middle of their spring steam gala, and the star attractions were the London and South Western Railway T3 Class 440 and Southern Railway Merchant Navy Class 462 number 35005 Canadian Pacific, or CanPac for short. I got to Alresford just in time to ride behind LMS Ivert 2MT tank number 41312, initially going as far as Ropley. The Ivert tank had only 4 coaches, which were loaded to the point of having standing room only.
Stand well away from the edge of platform 2, this train is not stopping. Stand well away from the platform edge.
In addition to the train rides, I also saw that you could book a spot on guided workshop tours at Ropley, but I wouldn't have gone on the tour had I known that it would involve an awful lot of standing still, and that gets uncomfortable fairly quickly. One of the few positives was getting to see an S&DJR 7F 280 and the sole surviving Lord Nelson 460, albeit without their tenders, and some shots of the other engines passing by or taking on coal and water that would have otherwise been impossible.
If he hits the cab hard enough, he'll definitely be crushing, won't he?
F and the 9F is heavy freight, but for the southern freight trains, they're very good engines, and they have
The T3 coupled up to the Alton end of the Ivert 2MT's train, and the two locomotives ran in a top and tail formation back to Alresford. While the Ivert 2MT and T3 were away at Alresford, I noticed that they also had a miniature railway at Ropley, and the locomotive they had in steam looks like a Quarry Hunslet. As we depart Ropley for Alton, look out for Class 20 number D8188, the very same locomotive that famously appeared in the James Bond film GoldenEye. I didn't realise that I had seen D8188 until looking back at the footage over a month after it was recorded.
One time you weren't allowed to listen to anything, one blues, otherwise you listen to Tamla Motown. Oh no.
Oh yeah, I'll get the sense of them documentary. It's very like purist, that blues thing.
But then you look back at it, this is, amazing Tamla Motown. If you enjoy it, what are you worried about?
It's good. If it's good, it's good, isn't it? Yeah, they used to take it quite seriously when you like.
Oh, I know.
It was very Zero, and they go all sweet and all that.
That's
It's all like trashy,
Roughly,
Mark Boland,
moving clear for four miles.
maker is all trashy.
Alton, just a reminder, we've got a griddle car on the service towards the front of the train, serving a section of hot and cold refreshments and drinks. And there's a real ale bar towards the rear of the train, serving a section of real ales and ciders. Thank you.
They're all brilliant musicians, proper. Oh yeah, look at Rick Wakeman. What a fantastic. I mean, he's played with so many bands, hasn't he? Rick Wakeman.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. He's, I don't know, he's touring now.
Yeah. Oh, it's a few years back now, I saw him in, and John Henderson, actually, he was
Oh yeah.
and they come on a tour, and I saw the phase and stuff, you know.
Much like the journey from Alresford to Ropley, the train was packed once again, so I ended up sitting on the floor until we stopped at Medstead and Foremarks, where I could finally get a seat. This trip on the Mid-Hants Railway reminded me of when I was at the Glenbrook Vintage Railway's Day Out with Thomas event in March 2024, as that was another occasion where the train I rode on was so damn full that I couldn't get a seat and had to sit on the floor. At this point, I was feeling completely overwhelmed and struggling to cope with the crowded railway. Situations of this nature are one of the reasons why I like Over My Head by Tony Basil, more specifically the extended mix of Over My Head, as much as I do. Not only does the song have excellent instrumentation, especially where the guitar solos are concerned, but I can relate to the lyrics because they're about being confused and overwhelmed by unexpected challenges. Coincidentally, this video is going live on Tony's birthday. On the approach to Alton, my train stopped outside the station, then the T3 was uncoupled and swapped with the bullied Pacific. I was relieved to finally disembark at Alton Station. At this point, I was in such a bad state that I didn't want to return to Alresford on the train, and just watched Canpack shunting around for a little while instead. Even though I liked seeing the LSWR T3 and 35005 Canadian Pacific in Steam, I did not enjoy my overall experience on the Mid-Hants Railway, although, to be clear, it's nothing personal against the Railway Society themselves. It's just that I really struggle to handle being in a cramped space, like the Mark I coaches, with loads of other people about, and, come to think of it, I should have realised beforehand that, as this was a gala weekend, the railway would be really busy. I have since come to the realisation that big gala events are not for me. And for now, I think I'll leave you with some footage of the Class 450 Desiros coming and going at Alton Station, along with some bonus catches from Shawford, recorded after I left the Mid-Hants Railway. Incidentally, Shawford was the closest I ever got to Eastleigh.